All right. Well, welcome. Thank you for having me today, Rudy. I definitely don't think anybody would think you're boring. So I'll try to follow up what you have going here. But again, my name is Brandon. I joined Rudy's team with the help of Chelsea back in January. The checklist that Chelsea was just speaking about, I completed that in the month of January, and then begin receiving warm connections starting February. So it started with this Tuesday meeting, similar to the one today. I had Lonnie reach out to me via LinkedIn. I was an account executive in a sales role here in downtown Los Angeles, and had never practiced real estate. I had my license for a couple of years, but never practiced real estate. Always felt like it was something I was going to get into, but was just enjoying myself in my current role. But it felt like the right time. And when Lonnie reached out to me, I decided to take this interview and to see this Zoom call and see what it was all about. And then in January, I left my account executive position and accepted the role here with your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And then, like I said, right away went on to the onboarding and the checklist. And for me as a new agent, the onboarding with no real experience was huge for me to be able to have conversations with a lot of our partners, like our lenders, the title company. You get assigned a mentor when you first start with the company, and then to have your one-on-ones every week with Chelsea. All of those were huge for me. Like I said, without having real life experience in real estate, it was big for me to really understand the industry. Because again, I didn't know anything about it. So it was almost like coming into something completely brand new, which is not a bad thing. In some cases, I think it's also a positive thing is to kind of start fresh. We do all of our inside sales training videos, our inside and outside sales training videos, really just to understand how to be an agent. So every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, we have 8 a.m. meetings. These meetings talk about real life situations and stories from agents. And it was important for me as a new agent to listen to a lot of these stories. So these 8 a.m. trainings are not mandatory, but for me, they were mandatory because I just felt like it was, that's where I needed to be to understand where I need to go in the near future. Also at 9 o'clock after the 8 a.m. meetings, we do role plays. And in my previous position, we did a lot of role plays in my sales position. So I understood kind of the importance of showing up and participating, and why role plays were huge. But I didn't really understand the industry yet. So that was why joining those 9 a.m. role plays was so big for me in the very beginning. And then we also, on Fridays, we have what we call Foundation Fridays. And this was huge for me to understand. And this teaches you almost like the back end work of being a real estate agent. For example, like going over MLS and doing MLS trainings. Because if you've never worked with MLS, it could look like a completely different language. So for me, training in those areas was really important early on. So your first whole month after you start will be just a full month of training, and then listening and listening to all the testimonials from other agents in our meetings at 8 a.m. So that was huge for me. And also as soon as your training's complete, these warm connections will start right away. So in my last meeting with Chelsea before I finished my checklist, she had mentioned, okay, as soon as we activate you, you just have to be ready because your phone is going to ring. And at first they used, for me in particular, I did the ISA appointments, which are just our inside sales team, how they generate appointments. You'll have an opportunity for them to set appointments for you. And then I was also brought on for the OpCity, which is realtor.com appointments. So if anybody goes on to realtor.com and wants to see a property, we have a partnership with realtor.com and Zillow. And so when someone clicks on to see a property, they'll reach out to you and you'll get a live connection from there. So, when I received my first inside sales appointment, I just remember being so anxious to get to it, but knowing that all the training that I had done in the previous month kind of got me to the point to where I felt comfortable accepting that appointment. And this helped me in a few different ways, really just confirming the appointment, and being able to speak to a client without some real knowledge on my side, but being comfortable enough to talk about what we were going to do at the appointment. I think for me, what was big was that I over prepared for a lot of our appointments early on, and still do to this day. But it really helped me in understanding the entire process of meeting clients at a property or at our office, going through our entire buyer's presentation, showing the benefits of working with us as a company, and then getting them to sign the listing agreement with myself. So it's been a long journey for sure since February. I've learned a lot in the last few months. I think it's important to know that as someone who just came on brand new, to have a team that's here to really support us, I think that's the most important thing. Having the trainings in the mornings and having the role plays, and then being able to reach out to some of the veteran agents to kind of hear about their situations and their stories has been really big for me. And not only just to see what they're going through, but to be able to almost put myself in their shoes as to when I see their situation in real life, I can kind of think back like, okay, I've seen our team work through this. Here are my options, and this is how I need to do it for myself. So it's been great, and it's been the first 4 months. I closed a property on Friday coming up. This will be my fourth close of escrow in the last 3 months. This one that's closing on Friday is a lead I got from our inside sales team. It's for a property that's in Pasadena. And it was awesome. I remember receiving this lead from our inside sales team. They called me day of because they needed someone to take the appointment. And, obviously early on, I'm taking as many appointments as I can get, mostly to, a little trial and error, but really to kind of just get a feel for the entire process. But when I met this couple out at the property the same day, really kind of got an idea of why they're moving, what's important to them, and really figure out kind of what their why is. And they liked the property a lot, so we ended up putting an offer on the property that same day, and then the next day it was accepted. So this one was really quick and really crazy for me because I had, in less than 24 hours, I had met the couple, submitted the offer, and then got it accepted, and we're set to close on Friday. So I guess for me, the biggest thing would be just credit to all of our training, and being able to be a brand new agent in the industry, and really using the tools that we have as a company. I'm not sure, and since I am so new, I'm not sure what the training's like with other companies. But again, it's the reason why I'm at where I am today, be able to really try to master and listen to as many people as possible. I think for me, I've really learned to listen, and I think that's kind of what it's kind of what I'm good at, is to really listen and really be able to put myself in different situations to really learn the process. So I'm definitely excited. I was in this Tuesday meeting just a few months ago, and to really be here now as someone who's getting ready to close the fourth escrow in 3 months, to catch myself saying it right now is interesting. But it's just, I'm excited to be a part of this team. And for anybody that has any questions, I'm super open to answering any questions right now, or any one-off questions. But I appreciate Rudy and I appreciate Chelsea, but for giving me the time here. But it's really a credit to the system that's in place here. And the warm connections are no joke. And Chelsea was serious when she said it. She said to be ready. And now I'm sometimes it's not difficult for me, but to be able to my schedule, to really schedule out my day really helps me out a lot, because I'm constantly getting these connections sent to me. But I'm doing a great job with time management, so I'm able to field all of them. But they're no joke, and the connections will be here. You just got to be there to answer your phone. So I'm open. If anybody has any questions, I'm open to answering any questions, but excited to see everybody here on this call. And I remember being just on the other side not too long ago.
Brandon, before we open up for question, I have a question. So you said in the last 90 days, you closed 4 deals. What about anything in escrow? How many in escrow? How many listings? Do you have anything else like that pending or active?
Yeah, so I just opened up an escrow last Thursday, so that'll be my 5th one. And and I received a listing appointment from our inside sales team yesterday. I met the young lady at a Starbucks in Monrovia. We had a great conversation. It was a great listing appointment. I went over all of our VIP listing benefits presentation, and then I signed the listing yesterday. So now I have a new listing as well.
Oh, you just signed a listing?
Yeah. So it's in Monrovia, and it's it's awesome. It's a front house and a back house on a pretty big size lot. The sellers are 3 sisters. They're a little bit older, super nice people. They've been managing the property themselves, and they have 2 more for the last 15 years, and they're just kind of getting
How much is that home, that listing?
It's 940,000.
Okay, so to summarize, you are in the last 90 days, June, what is that? April, May, and June, you have 5 deals because 4 plus 1, okay, let's just call it 5, okay? 4 plus 1 is 5. So 5 deals closed and in escrow, and you have 1. You just signed a 1 new listings, 940,000 in Monrovia. Is that a single family home?
It is, and there's 2 homes on the property itself.
All right. So congratulations. Okay, now we open up for, is there anybody before Brendan, because Brendan got to go, or Brendan can stay, I don't know what he's going to do, but before I move to a different conversation in our class today, or in our meetings today, do you have any questions? And you can ask anything to Brendan. If you want, just unmute yourself.
I have a question.
Hi, Janet, how are you?
Hey, I'm pretty good. These transactions, like, were they like personal prospects or cold calling, or like where did you generate the activity so quickly?
Yeah, that's a good question. So for the 4 that have closed, 2 of them were our inside sales team generated leads. So our inside sales team does all the cold calling and door knocking for our company. So I don't do any myself, but so they reached out to me and set appointments for both of those. And then the other 2 were our Zillow connections. We are partnered with our Zillow team. Anytime someone goes on to Zillow and clicks on a property to see, we have an opportunity to receive those calls. And if you're by your phone and your phone rings and you answer it, you happen to get that lead connection. And so 2 of them were with our inside sales team, and 2 of them were with Zillow. And I'm actually born and raised in Las Vegas, so I'm new to Los Angeles. So that was the biggest thing for me, was because my network of people is not that big at the moment, to go to a company where you needed to really use your the people around you and your sphere of influence. It was tough for me because I don't really have that at the moment. So coming to this team, just being able to get leads generated for you, that was, pretty much the reason why I accepted the position here, because I understood that I needed a little bit of help in generating the leads. So 2 inside sales leads, and then the other 2 were with our partnership with Zillow.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I'm not from California as well. So I don't, and literally all of my family is in another country. So I'm always being told, like, oh, contact your friends and family. Like, that list is 0.
Yeah, I had an interview with a couple other brokerages before accepting the job, and a couple of them, that was the main point, was we're going to reach out to your sphere of influence first and kind of see what kind of connections you have. And I'm thinking, while I was in that interview, I'm like, dang, I don't have anybody that I can use. And so I'm right there with you. Where are you from yourself?
My family's from Germany and Norway.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Okay. Well,
before California, I lived on the East Coast in Maryland.
Okay, nice. I've been out here for about 2.5 years and still don't have a huge network of people, just some folks and some friends from my sales job prior to this. But yeah, I was right there with you in the beginning, and it was important for me to get with a company that allowed us to not generate our own leads and really provided them. And that's really helped me in the last 3 months. And that's for sure.
Yeah. And then, like Rudy said, brokers are always saying, oh, we'll cold call and door knock, and that's kind of hard to do during a pandemic.
Yeah, totally. It's tough. And, sometimes it's draining too. And that can be a part of it too, that, that might kind of get to your mental side of it, that, may leave you some doubt. So to have a team our inside sales team, they're constantly working so hard and reaching out to, I think they call me a lot because they know I'm going to take all the appointments. But right now, it just seems like we have so many appointments. We just need a little bit of help on the agent side. And when I heard that, I'm thinking, I can help out. And so I jumped in, and I have my book of business right now is pretty full. And I think Chelsea and I had our one-on-one on Thursday, and I'm looking to try and help that out a little bit. But yeah, it's definitely a good place for someone like myself and probably someone like yourself to start.
That's good to know. Thanks.
Absolutely.
So Brandon, are you saying the reason you show up today because you are like, man, this ISA team is calling me, calling you every day. Too many clients, guys. We need help. But that's good though. Good story, Brandon. Lani, are you still on the line, Lani? Lani is remember, we can reunite you and Lani again.
Lani was the first person I spoke to with your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. So
yeah,
I hope
Lani
she's still on the line.
Yeah. All right. Is there any question for Brandon before we move on to the next topic on the agenda?
I see Oscar just reached out. Are you still continuing your training? It's a great question. I think, yeah, we're definitely, we still have our meetings on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m. It's all of our training. And those trainings, like I mentioned, a lot of agents kind of like myself, and then talking with Rudy, going over situations and scenarios that they're seeing every day. And so attending those 8 a.m.s and then staying on the call for a 9 o'clock role play, because when we receive our Zillow leads and our realtor.com leads, there's almost like it's kind of like a script, but it's more of like a roadmap to kind of how to set appointments and to continue to do the role plays and the trainings every day. I think are important, especially for somebody, of course, like me, but even for some veteran agents, just to kind of get a feel for how we're doing things. Definitely still doing those every day. But great question, Oscar.
Yeah, that's a good question, because the training is for life for many reasons, because real estate is always evolving. Regardless how long you've been in business, we have partners here at your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty been in business for 5 years, 10 years, 20. And Chelsea, what about Jeff? How many years he has been doing this? 32, I think?
I think so. I think, yeah, 32 or 33 years now.
He told me he's told me he's done it longer than I've been alive, and I'm 32 now. And
Brandon
so,
is Brandon, Jeff has been selling home before you even exist on the planet. But even him, remember, Chelsea, what did Jeff say about the training?
He said he's never felt more confident going into an appointment with a client than he has, in all of his 32 years than he does now with our systems. Having that knowledge, having that training, he feels more confident than he ever has.
Because the training is evolving, Oscar. It's not remember I told you, I'm not just a preacher or whatever, I'm just like you, man. And as you know, real estate is evolving constantly. What we teach you this month may not be relevant next month, for example. That's how extreme this thing is. You know what I mean? Especially now. Give you an example, Oscar. Let's say you've been in business for 5 years. The agents that have been in business for 5, 10 years, usually, I use me as an example, okay, Oscar? When I first get my license, my broker told me to just go to email when I work with buyers, take the buyer's email, put it on the MLS, and the MLS will automatically email. If you do that today, Oscar, emailing homes to the buyers, the buyer will unsubscribe, will never answer your telephone. And the reason, because it may work 15, 20 years ago, because the internet is not that powerful. So the buyers need an agent to be able to access homes. Today, buyers can go to online and they see the homes faster than the real estate agents. So if you are doing that, you will be obsolete. The reason Brandon can get paid 3.5%, can you imagine if Brandon just emailing them homes, do you think Brandon will get paid 3.5? No, Brandon will have to pay kickbacks, right? The reason, because the buyer will say, Brandon, you are so lucky, I let you write an offer for me. But if Brandon have access to homes that match the buyer's criteria, Oscar, that the buyers cannot find it anywhere else, only through Brandon, that's how you get paid more. Does it make sense? So hopefully that answer why the training is constant daily. It's because the entire industry is evolving daily. You know, if you are not learning, then you'll be obsolete. All right. Hey, Lani, are you on the line, Lani? Okay, never mind. All right, that's it, you guys. If there's nothing else, I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint slide again. Hey, Brandon, thank you for sharing.